Welcome to another 450MT video. Today we're talking about sprockets. And the reason I want to talk about sprockets is because at some point I chose to install a 15-tooth sprocket, basically just to increase the fuel economy and maybe stop some of the jerkiness of the throttle when in low RPM. And well, it did it. I can only recommend that mod, but I also want to talk about the JTF565RB sprocket in particular here, and give a small warning to everybody who is considering upgrading to this sprocket. So there are two issues with this sprocket. First one being a minor one, which is this area does not line up. Well, it does line up actually, but there is some wiggle room there when you put the sprocket onto the shaft. It's just the tolerances aren't that good, so you get some forward and backward wiggle, and also side to side, which is not really like, tilting kind of thing. Very small, but noticeable and a little bit concerning, but that's not the main issue. The main issue with the JT sprocket is that it's a little bit misaligned as opposed to the original one, because it's just, it's 1 millimeter closer to the engine than the original one, just because of the design of the sprocket. Because what they did is just you have a sprocket that doesn't have like any indentations or movement inside where it's marrying to the shaft. It's just like it's just centered, so the rubbers are the same on both sides. Basically there are 3 millimeters either side. The sprocket size, like when it comes to the teeth and everything else, it's perfect, it's working well, but because of that 4 millimeter as opposed to 3 millimeters difference in the inseam here, you get the sprocket a little bit closer to the engine, just a little bit. This is like definitely an exaggeration, but it goes just 1 millimeter more towards the engine. And what that ends up doing is you get some noise, very noticeable actually, chain noise, almost grinding kind of noise when you drive, well, mostly in higher speeds, but also in lower speeds on power. So when you accelerate, you will notice the noise. When you decelerate, when you just let it coast, it usually goes away. But then again, when it's on power, when you accelerate, it comes back. And the reason for that noise is it's just rubbing this side of the sprocket. As you can see here, this is after approximately, 350 kilometers on this sprocket. The noise was not that noticeable in the beginning, but after a while it got worse and worse, and at some point it just got very bad. I couldn't just bear it anymore. Anyway, so I don't recommend this sprocket. It's just not the right size. The original one, as you can see, it has these design features that have some more space between the engine when put on the shaft. And yeah, just use the CFMOTO 15 teeth original sprocket instead. Thank you.